If I do that, that's what's happening. All right. Hi, everybody. It's Katie Harris, CEO and owner of NursePreneurs. And
I'm Jill Weberding. I'm CEO and founder of Nurse Assure.
Woo, we got it.
Welcome to Pitchfest.
Yay! So this is the final round of the NursePreneur Pitchfest, and we have our 3 finalists. We have Ananya Datta. Say hi, Ananya.
Hi, everyone.
And Rosa Pinta Butterman.
Hello.
And Jenna Erickson.
Hello.
So, and then of course we have our lovely judges, the wonderful Kimball Bradley. Oh, sorry, Judy.
And Gigi
Elize. All right, so just to remind everybody, this is how things are going to go tonight. So what we're going to do, we have 3 contestants. They each get 15 minutes to talk to us about why they're doing this business, why it's important, and just kind of give us the more of the emotional appeal to get us to really connect with them and resonate with their message, because a lot of your marketing has to do with attracting people who basically like you, right? So you don't have to like somebody to do business with them, but it's so much easier, right? And this is where, Jill, I think you talk about that we could have had 15 contestants all pitching the same exact program in a different way, and the audience would be split among them because they would gravitate towards different personality styles. And that's okay, because you don't want 1 million customers. You know, let's start with 1, 2, 3 customers, and we'll build the base up from there. So a big part of that is your story, who you are, why you're doing this. It's very compelling, and it draws us in, and it makes us want to do business with you because we like your story, we resonate with your story, we understand all that kind of good stuff. So all 3 contestants are going to walk away with prizes tonight. The question is, which one will they get? And this is where we're going to need your help. So the judges at the end will talk amongst themselves. We have our special method to talk amongst ourselves and put them in order. But we need your help to vote. So once again, we have our lovely Pitchfest. Oh, I got to put that in the chat, don't I? Pitchfest. Oh, wait. It's right here.
The tiny URL. Woo. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, our tinyurl.com/pitchfest2020, and the form has changed again. It's morphed, it's changed, and now there's only 3 contestants. And what I'm asking you to do is to pick who you think should be grand prize. What did I put? So we had some discussion about whether it was grand prize, first prize, second prize, or grand prize, second prize, and third prize. So I apologize if you're offended by grand prize, second prize, and third prize, because that's what we went with. It was Jill. Jill made me do it. So yeah, so you under each name, just put the prize that you think they should get. And Google Forms is amazing because it tallied everything up and put it in nice pie charts for me. So it was much easier to see visually where people voted. And they did vote down the lines with us on these 3 contestants. So we're very excited about this. All right, so the third prize, a LearnDash plugin lifetime license, so that the contestant can build unlimited number of courses and never have to pay a monthly fee, like Kajabi and Teachable and all these other platforms. You have to pay like $99 a month, whether you have students in your course or you don't. And that was something I did. I ended up spending like thousands of dollars with Kajabi before I even had any clients. But LearnDash, you can do everything that you can do in Kajabi. You just don't have to pay for it. So, and here they don't have to pay anything because we're giving them a lifetime license to it. The second prize is a 2-hour mastermind call with Jill and I together, and we are going to talk about your next moves. We're going to strategize what's going to happen next. And the grand prize is our next program, which is actually next level marketing for these students. If you don't actually have a program or a pitch, you're not ready for next level marketing. All of our students here are, and that's what they need to do. We need to build their list. We need to build their audience. We need to get them in front of people, and we're going to do it organically. We're going to show them how to do it organically, and there's a pretty big done for you component to that. That program is a $2,500 program, and that's what the grand prize is going to be tonight. So one of these Nurses is going to walk away with that. All right, so
excited.
format 15 minutes each. Yeah, I'm so excited. 15 minutes each. I'm going to put the two contestants that aren't presenting into our waiting room, and they're going to wait it out. So I can give you guys an order. Actually, I didn't make an order. Jill, do you have an order of what we should go in? Because then we can give the participants, contestants a time frame. So if we start at 7:10 with
for that.
Ananya. You want to start with Ananya?
Yeah, let's just go alphabetical.
7:25 will be Rosa, because I'm looking at her, which means I got to do some math here. 7:40 is going to be Jenna. Okay? So if you guys want
That's
to
not
go
alphabetical.
get a glass of wine or something.
Whatever. It's totally fine. But it's like, that's not the way my alphabet goes, but it's fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know you meant alphabet.
We'll go this way.
All right. Yeah, even their last names, it's not alphabetical. But all right,
Not
whatever.
even
We're going to do it
close,
this way. So those are your time frames, and I have to kill 3 minutes before we start with Ananya. So Rosa and Jenna, what you'll be able to do is I'll put you in the waiting room. Rosa, make sure you specifically are back, because we're going to cut Ananya off at 7:25 exactly, and you're going to come on. So whether she's in mid-sentence or not, she's out, just to stay on time. So this isn't like a 3-hour ordeal, but I'll give you some heads up, Ananya, where you are. But yeah, I mean, we already like all three of you, so this is just going to be easy conversation, talking to you and just finding out your why, because it's really important to know why you're doing this. All right, Kimball and Gigi, any comments before we get started, or any questions about judging criteria? Do you want to know the judging criteria?
Sure, let's talk about that.
That's really helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be helpful. All right. So the first one of the first questions we're going to ask is, why do you want to start this business in the first place? Like, what is driving you? What is really driving you forward? And then the second question is, why are you the right person to start this business? Like, why you? And that's kind of there's some inner critic themes there. We're not asking like, why you, and who do you think you are? I'm saying, like, what are kind of your credentials and credibility for this? Like, why is it important for you to do it? And that really comes from your deep down why of why you want to start this business. And none of you are here because we all want to make $1 million, right? But that's not the driving force for any of us. And I force for the three of you.
Goals.
Yeah, so impact goals, that's better. And then kind of your dream vision. What is that dream vision going to look like for you? What is your business going to look like in a couple of years? So we are judging just on the authenticity of the answer and the clarity of why you're doing this, and really the story. So it's going to be more of a subjective and feeling type of judging. But I am going to exit Jenna and Rosa right now, because we're going to start in like 30 seconds. All right, Rosa, 7:25. Jenna, come back by 7:40. All right, so
In the hot seat.
No, there's no hot seats here. This is it's all good.
We're all just friends.
All right.
It's really just about having the audience help get to know you better, because you're going to connect with your audience that way.
All right, Ananya, so first question for you is, why did you want to start this business, and what is driving you forward in this?
Well, first, thank you so much for allowing me to be here and making it this far. So thank all 4 of you guys for allowing me to be here. That's a great question. I think that this has been so mission-driven for me. And the dog in the fight for me is that I have been my ideal student. I was in their shoes. I was a new NP. I felt thrown to the wolves, to be honest. And I remember feeling in that moment as a new grad that when I make it as a seasoned NP, I'm going to reach my hand back and I'm going to help other people avoid exactly what I went through. because it is completely avoidable. So it's really a mission for me to help this gap and help fill that gap between commencement and contract and then in practice. And I think it's absolutely doable. And, one of the things that's helped me see that social proof is as an EDNP, I was able to, with my co-pilot, create an onboarding for 10 brand new NPs. And we were able to see exactly how having that structure, having that support allowed them to have so much more success and put their best foot forward. So having that social proof allowed me to see that this is exactly where I want to be. I feel fully aligned with helping and mentoring new grads. And I want it to scale to a place where I can reach many more people. And that is a driving force behind this business.
Okay. And why you in a way? Like, why do you feel like you're the right person, or why? Let's just stay with that. Why are you the right person to build this business?
Absolutely. I think it's a great question. It's because I already do this for free. So people come to me when they are ready to have a mentor, be a sounding board for new grads. So I'm already doing this. And I feel that I'm the right person because once I make a decision about something and have a vision, I execute. And I am so driven by this that when I have social proof that I have a vision and I want to scale it so I can reach many people. And I'm not going to stop until I do. So I have the motivation, I have the social proof, I have the credentials, and this is exactly where I want to be. I feel aligned and like I'm in the right place.
Awesome. And what is your dream vision of this? Let's say that you're going to go on the up scale. Where is this going to be in 3 years, just with a straight trajectory?
So I think that right now, especially in the pediatric NP field, there isn't a lot of hands-on skill building. There isn't a lot of residency opportunities for us. So looking at my grander vision, I want to create a program that new grads seamlessly can enter a 12-month residency program where they are taught the hands-on skills, they have the support for 12 months, and that employers and nursing schools work very closely with us to help create that transition for them. So that the onus is not on necessarily the new grad, but the system, because it is a systemic issue that I feel is doing a lot of disservice to new grads. So my bigger vision is creating a company that's able to scale and connect to these systems and decrease the burden on these new grads so that they have a 12-month fellowship.
All right. Yeah, no, I think that's a great vision. So the 12 months, so when they come out, they come straight to potentially you, right?
Exactly. So I would want it to be a company, meet them where they are, and every month build skills that are appropriate for the level at which they are practicing, the setting at which they're practicing, so that they're extremely confident in walking into that ER suturing or doing the trauma, and not relying on an orientation or not having an orientation, especially given the circumstances we're in right now, and not feeling that scarcity, but knowing that they're going to have that support in becoming that NP.
Okay. So I'm going to open it up to the judges to each ask their own personal question that they have.
Gigi, you
Yeah.
want to start?
Sure, I have a question. Hi, Ananya. Nice to meet you. You mentioned that you've already been doing this. You've been doing it for free. If I were a new NP, why should I pay money for your program, your package, your service, versus seeking out a mentor or someone else maybe for free? What would you say to me? What would you say to that?
That's a great question. The answer that I would give is that mentors are hard to come by. And the time and dedication that a mentor can give you may be extremely limited. So what I would give you if you came to me is that customized time, and I would be invested in your growth. and I would be dedicated to you and meet you exactly where you are. So that mutual investment allows you to show up and gives you permission to show up as a new grad so you can get exactly what you need from me, and allows me to show up for you and be that sounding board and be that mentor for longitudinally and not just once in a while. So I'm invested in your growth, and that's what is a differentiating factor in investing back in me.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah.
I know we have time. Ananya, can you speak a little bit about your plan for scaling like this kind of program? So, it sounds amazing, but it really feels like a very personal one-on-one approach. Let's say 10 nurses, sign up, you get people are interested, there's demand. Have you thought about how you will manage kind of the influx of potentially how you might structure it, or manage lots of enrollees in your program?
Sure. So the bigger vision is, of course, to have a team. So obviously I can't do this alone. My role would be to be the creator and the visionary, and work very closely with schools of nursing to know where the deficits are and when and how our students coming back to report that. And then really creating curriculum around that. I would like to still keep it pretty intimate. So we would have an application basis, and then enrollment would begin quarterly so that we could meet the needs of the graduating classes. But the biggest way that I want to scale is having NPs specialized in pediatrics on board as part of my team to build the curriculum, to also mentor along with me. That's comparative and proportionate to the size of each entering class.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, Gigi took one of my questions I had for you, but that's
the benefit of going first.
Yeah, that was the main one. How do you plan on handling an influx? So would this just be for pediatric nurse practitioners, or are you opening this up to a variety of different specialties?
So currently there are programs that are more focused broadly on the family nurse practitioner, and there's a huge lack for pediatric NPs. So I would be mainly focused on delivering and filling that gap. So pediatric NPs, as well as any pediatric providers who are advanced practice providers. So it could be a PA or an FNP who practices and takes care of pediatric children.
Okay, so that's your niche. Okay. And then I guess my follow-up question to that is, could you, and you may have said this and I may have just missed it. So there's hands-on training, and is it online as well? Or how is your program structured? Is it just one or the other, or how is
currently, or my vision?
Your vision and currently.
So currently it's 100% virtual. We do offer procedural tutorials. So actual hands-on suturing and actual procedures that an NP would see either in the office or in patient setting. Mm-hmm. But my vision is to have hands-on quarterly trainings where it can be intensive weekends, where we provide CEUs as well as hands-on training from intubations to any complex issues that NPs would be responsible for and privileged for. So that is in my bigger vision.
Okay. So, but initially getting started, it would be virtual.
Correct.
I guess. Okay. Okay. That's a great way to handle the influx of a lot of people too. So, mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, good.
Thank you.
Right. Kimball, did you have any other questions?
Well, other than those three, no, not right off, I guess.
I have a question.
Okay.
And one, I love to hear the vision of that down the road of like those intensives, because I have also, I'm in the field of oncology, and I've seen this huge gap with those new grads coming out. They really don't know where they're kind of in no man's land, where they're not an oncology nurse anymore, where they were seasoned and had all this experience and knowledge, and they're, not a new grad, and they really are like struggling to get up to speed in that different role. So I wondered, can you speak to kind of like how you're going to mentally like help them prepare for that shift in mindset of you're no longer in this nursing role, now you're in a different level? Like, what are some of the ways that you're going to kind of address that building of confidence and the mindset shift?
That's a really good question. And I think that we as NPs fall into that trap of thinking in the nursing model. However, now you're responsible for acting and ordering as the provider. So the best way is going to be honestly giving scenarios that are real life scenarios where you have to manage a patient, and whether it's in note form and then practicing presentation giving. I would like to know exactly how the management would occur. So, and then being able to give real time feedback on that presentation and management, and questioning that person and asking why, what is the rationale, so that I can get inside of the thinking and the rationale and decision making, and we can start to go closer from RN decision making to a provider decision making, because it's so crucial to get that down very, very early.
Great. And one other question, I know that you mentioned in your pitches, you were helping with contract negotiation, which was like a huge, it was like Pam's words, to Kimball of make a lot of money. Like that was the buzzword for me from your pitch, because nurses have no training in contract negotiation. So I would think that would be a huge draw, especially for, kind of connecting with nursing schools to help get them early. So you mentioned that you've kind of been helping do some of this for free. Have you worked with anybody now who, or, that you could kind of speak to the difference that your guidance has been able to help them in either getting a job easier, quicker, better contract? Have you had any success stories, I guess, already?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the people that I've worked with, she was a new grad pediatric nurse practitioner, and her first contract, she felt like she was getting a great rate. But when we talked about it and we really broke down everything, not only compensation, but everything else that you have to think about, such as admin time and vacation, other things that we don't leverage as NPs, she realized that she was definitely getting the short end of the stick. So we were able to actually negotiate $10,000 more for her, as well as go from a 3-year contract to a 1-year contract and not have it to be so binding. She's definitely a huge success story. And, there's many others. And that's actually one of my favorite things to do is negotiate, because once an NP understands their worth, oh, it's over.
That's what hospitals don't want you to know that you're worth,
And just understanding and wrapping your mind around, there are many other things to leverage and other than compensation for your work-life integration. And once you start seeing that in a very different light and knowing that the power is with you, and even in this situation that we do have the power to leverage, things change. And that's one of my favorite things that I love doing.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love hearing that.
Yeah, I love this. Yeah, I love hearing this too. And you're right, contract negotiation is not talked about. It's very taboo, and it's desperately, desperately needed.
Yeah.
All right, Ananya, thank you so much for this. I am going to remove you, and we are going to get to Rosa. Oops, I'm going to go down here. There we go. Oh, and she's gone. All right. I should have my timer on. I can't tell if there's like 10 seconds left or 30 seconds left. All right, Rosa. So the first question we have for you is, why do you want to start the business that you want to start? What's really driving you? What's behind the scenes that's driving you forward in this business?
Okay. Hello, everybody. So happy to be here, by the way. Well, actually, it really has to do with a personal journey that I went on, which started about 9 months ago when I had my baby. I was diagnosed with gestational hypertension, and I was so terrified because I never in my life had anything, wrong with me, so to speak. And I was terrified. I would check my blood pressure night and day. I was driving everybody in my house crazy. So finally, when I went into a regular checkup with my physician, she told me that, hey, you're going to have an emergency C-section. And I was very disappointed. I was terrified. And I think that was it was a rude awakening for me, because as a nurse, I kind of felt like, I had all the answers, and I didn't want to think that I had high blood pressure. I was like, no, that's going to go down. I'm just going to eat a little bit better and it'll correct itself. And I was wrong. And I think that's a very big issue that happens in society, especially with nurses, at least me. So at that point, I was prescribed blood pressure medication, and I was so dizzy every day, in and out. I would try to take my blood pressure, waking up my baby. He's crying. I'm crying. I'm hungry. He's hungry. It was overwhelming. And I said, no more. I'm not going to feel like this anymore. So I started making healthier choices, and I really started exercising. And I actually started to see my blood pressure go down more and more and more. And I know this as a nurse, but I didn't commit to it for myself. I was always so focused on serving everyone else around me instead of myself. And I kept having these conversations with myself saying, why am I doing this? And so I would say, well, I don't have time. I don't have time to work out, and I don't have time to eat right. I don't have time to cook what I know I should eat, what I know will help my blood pressure. And I finally came to a point where I did that, and I ended up losing over 30 pounds. And now I'm not on the medication anymore. And I was so happy, and I felt like it was such a win for me that I wanted to share that with other people that are struggling with maybe any comorbidity, high blood pressure, heart disease, the leading causes that really wreak havoc upon society. So I felt that, hey, if I could develop a course that could pack this in, the lessons that I learned, that would be epic for me. So that's really how it started, because I started thinking about my own journey and how I can expand my mission to help others that are in a similar situation.
Okay, so why do you think that you are the right person to build this business? Aside from your personal story, what makes you the best person for this?
Wow. I honestly think that I'm the best person for this business because I am very passionate about fitness and health overall. And I am a nurse that created this course for nurses in mind, with nurses in mind. And it's designed for them to be successful. And I feel that any nurse that in any background, whether they're a bedside nurse, whether they're a home care nurse, whether they're a travel nurse, they can get use out of this course. I know for a fact, because I did it myself. So I believe that this can transform their lives. And a big reason why I started it was because I started speaking to a lot of fellow nurses. And what I found was that they told me how unmotivated they are. They told me how exhausted they are. And they told me how they felt fitness is like a chore to them. And if they see the dishes are dirty, for example, they don't want to do that. They'd rather, do the dishes. And those things really resonated with me because that's how I felt. But since my background is primarily in telemetry, I think I had this mentality that it's only bedside nurses. But then when I started expanding who I was speaking with and asking nurses, hey, what kind of nurse are you? And they would say, oh, I work at home. And they still had the same problem. What I realized was that this is a universal issue for nurses, not just for nurses that are at the bedside. So that really put a fire under me. And I said, well, this is a problem that all nurses have. And then I started thinking about the work ethic of a nurse, that they are working for long hours, some of them, that they are in putting their sleep in compromise from their long hours, that they are under higher levels of stress, and especially now, given the present times of the pandemic. And I felt that, it was my mission that I really wanted to help them. And I actually, through NursePreneur, I have a one-on-one health coaching service, which I love doing. I take one-on-one clients where I'm doing very similar thing, but I really wanted to dedicate this course to helping nurses because they are true heroes and they're a major contribution to the healthcare system. So it was really a win for me to do that and to expand. And I really want to expand my business into not just making it a course for 30 days, because everybody doesn't want to just lose 10 pounds. You know, some people have goals beyond that. And while losing 10 pounds is great, I remember one thing that someone said to me, a couple of people used the words depressed when I spoke with them, but they're depressed in their body image. And that really struck me because I felt the same way. And I felt, oh, if I could just have a slice of how I used to be before I had my baby, I would be happy. And I felt very upset about that. And I said, I need to do something that create a course where you love the you are. When you look in the mirror, you say, hey, you know, I love that person right in front of me, no matter what. And if I could do that, I felt, hey, I'm going to create something where I can get all the nurses together and we can cheer each other on, because that's what it's about. Celebrating other people's wins. And it's not just, hey, I want to lose weight. It's, hey, I want to be healthier and I want to be fit. Sure, it's aesthetically pleasing, but the ultimate goal is you want to be healthier and you want to sustain that. And I feel that with a 30-day program, to make it sustainable, my plans for the future is to ultimately create it into a longer course or expand it to the phase 2 and kind of keep building my virtual studio and also continue to find brands that are aligned with my mission. I was so grateful and thankful to align with Fabletics, which is one of the leading activewear in the country, and Bistro Meals subscriptions, because they align with my mission and they want to help the world stay active. And that's what I love to do. So that's really my plans for the future as well.
Yeah, and you know, that almost kind of answers the third question. So if you just want to add briefly to it, because the third question is about your vision of this business. But what does it look like? Let's say you're on this trajectory of up, 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 and away for the next 3 years. In 3 years, how do you see this business?
Well, since I love making fitness fun, I thought that if there's a way that I can make it kind of like a retreat style, you know, we have the course, but also bring nurses out to a retreat and everybody does it for, you know, X amount of days, that would be epic for me. I would love to do that and kind of just expand my reach globally and get all the nurses to look at it and say, hey, you know what? This resonates with me because, you know, I want to be the best version of myself. I want to show up for myself. That's what I want to do. And I want to prioritize my self-care. I want to be the best. So I think a great motivator with that, and that's why I chose to work with Fabletics, is to create events, to create that camaraderie so that nurses could really be inspired by one another.
Okay, I love that. So we're going to open it up to the judges to ask you questions, and we have 7 minutes. So let's
All right.
maybe not ask the follow-up questions until.
All right. So the first thing that came to mind, Rosa, is first of all, I love this program. Just your whole little thing. I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. I just realized that you were talking about, though, making a program by nurses for nurses. So that's fantastic. I love it. However, have you ever thought about expanding it to the general public? Because I think you're going to miss a huge audience, maybe postpartum people who have that extra weight. Like you said, you went through this having the baby and getting the weight off. You know, have you ever thought about maybe expanding this to more than just the nurses audience?
Absolutely. I'm very passionate about that as well. Actually, I work one-on-one with other clients that are not nurses at the present time at NursePreneur. That's what I do right now in my business. But I would love to in the future dedicate a course and open it up to the general public. I would love that.
And
I think that would be fairly easy for you to do as well.
Absolutely.
I do
Go
have
ahead, Kimball. I'm sorry.
Quick follow-up, just a really quick one.
You're fine, Kimball.
Because we love this so much, I would love to know how affordable would you make this? How would you scale this program for nurses and for general public? Would it be the same, or would you discount it more for people that are not nurses or are nurses?
Well,
and for NursePreneur judges.
Yeah.
Primarily the judges.
Sure. Come on over. I'll give all of you to Banco.
That might have been against the bribery rules. Wait a minute, we're gonna have to check.
You're not gonna win. No, I'm just kidding. But right now, it's actually I offer it for $279, and for 4 weeks. And in the future, since it's going to be packed with more value, right now I have a lot of a virtual fitness studio. So they're all pre-recorded workouts demonstrating how to do the workouts with and without workout equipment. You could just pop on over to your living room and you could start working out. And I want to really expand that part of it, and I want to make it an app. So I'm working in the process of getting an app, and the reason why I don't have one right now is because I'm waiting for some paperwork to come through, and it's still being developed. But I am working on getting an app. So I think in the future I probably would increase the value of the program, but not drastically.
That's great. That's great.
Yes. Thank you.
Cool. I know we have 4 minutes.
Yep.
Rosa, so the program is a 30-day program, which is not a long time when you think about like kind of the life cycle for someone to transform kind of their mindset, eating habits, life, sedentary, bad habits, like all those things. So what are your key focus areas in those first 30 days that I would imagine would kind of set the stage for ongoing success for your clients?
Absolutely. I'm really happy you asked that. Actually, so once you enroll into the STAT method, what happens is that you got to go through the setup process first. And the setup process includes signing up your petition, that the nurse's pledge that states you're going to commit to this. And secondly, there's a form you're going to fill out weekly that I have set up through my email service. It's going to ask you your name, your weight, your height, and it's going to go to me. And every Sunday of this program, you're going to get weighed in. It's going to go to me every week. Every week we weigh in. Every week I'm going to go live and I'm going to say, or even daily, I'm going to ask them, hey, is there anything we need to change? I'm going to be assessing their weight all throughout the process through a form that I have that's set up throughout the course to go scheduled weekly, just to set them up for success. I do not want anyone to go into week 2 feeling lost at all. And that's a huge part of my program is group coaching. It's not they're just getting the course and see you later. I'm actually going to be it's going to be group coaching. So I'll be live in that group every single day. And I'm also going to have virtual fitness classes weekly that they can attend with me. But to address the actual delivering the weight loss component, they will be weighing in weekly. And if they have any questions whatsoever, that group coaching, they can ask me and we're going to make changes. And we're going to really see and hold me accountable to see if we can really get those results.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jill, anything in 30 seconds?
In 30 seconds.
Jill, I only have 2.
I guess my question would be, do you have any like tricks up your sleeve for really mastering that, either the bad habit or the mindset of I'm actually going to do it this time versus I say I'm going to do it and then wah wah.
Think I'm going to do it.
I think the biggest thing that I'm going to be doing is continuously motivating everyone. And I think that if I have someone up my sleeve every single day, multiple times a day saying, hey, we're doing this together, we're in this together, we're all going to do this, then I think that they're going to see results. Anyone that also signs up is going to get the accountability emails. They're going to get me live in the group every day. And it really is a program that sets you up for success, not something that you're going to watch on your computer and just say, oh, I never did that. Oh, well, it's really a program that is very interactive.
Like, go, Rosa, go. Yeah, lose some weight.
It's very engaging. So I feel like that's the trick I have, an element that I have to bring to the table that will say, we're all in this together because I'm right here and you can talk to me and you can ask me questions and I will give you feedback.
All right,
Great.
Rosa, we're going to say goodbye and say hello to Jenna.
Dropping her,
I feel like this is
down the chute.
What was that Ellen DeGeneres show where she drops?
Yeah, like all
I know
the,
we
like,
did that. So, Yeah, it feels so rude, and I didn't mean to be rude, so I apologize. All right, Jenna, we'll give you an extra minute because of this. But okay, so the question to you is, why do you want to start this business, and what is kind of the driving force that's pushing you forward?
Yeah, sure. So honestly, like when I started this course, I was actually thinking originally about focusing on something like lactation or postpartum related. I'd been looking for a while into ways to kind of incorporate some sort of online element into my current, I have like a private practice lactation consulting and postpartum support business like locally. And so I'm like, okay, I live in a rural area. And so I know, I'm very aware that it's hard for women to get some of these like specialized services, specialized support. And so I'm like, okay, I need to like bring this to more women. But then what happened as I was going through the process that Jill taught us, which was awesome, by the way, is that I kind of like melded all these things that I'm passionate about with pregnancy and birth and postpartum, and they kind of collided for me into this topic of like helping families better understand and like have confidence in choosing this out of hospital birth option. I don't know, it just like emerged for me as I was going through these exercises, and it was like it instantly lit me on fire. I was like, this, I need to do this. Like this just, I'm like more passionate about this now than all these other things I'm also working on. But it's just something that I knew I had to pursue. So I think that the why for me is really the families. So I get to work with a lot of new families in what I already do. And I think I guess it's sad to say, but I see a lot of the families I work with, they're stepping into parenthood feeling like very disempowered, I guess is probably the best word. It's just like they've had this whole experience through pregnancy and birth and now postpartum, breastfeeding, all that type of stuff, where it's just, I can tell it's like they haven't been encouraged to trust their bodies or trust their intuition or trust their babies. And it just seems like they've gone through it this whole time and nobody has encouraged them to do that, to tune into their body, trust their body, and they really like doubt their abilities. And so I've been doing this for a while and I'm like seeing this over and over again. And I'm like, okay, so what do we do about this? Like where is the point A that this starts from? And I just kind of came to realize that like it's all one thing. Like from the moment that you're become pregnant all the way through, that's an opportunity for us as I guess for the healthcare community, but also just for supporters of women and for families to like start that trajectory for them, get them realizing kind of how awesome their bodies are and like what kind of an experience this could be. And so it's like it just keeps going kind of backwards for me, in that it's like, well, where do we start with this? And it starts with the care you get in pregnancy, your feelings about what your body can do, and then ultimately kind of how your birth unfolds. And no matter how that happens, that during that process, you feel supported and like you were listened to and you have an overall positive experience, kind of no matter how it unfolds. So anyways, I see that over and over again. And for me, in my own personal experience, I know that probably the best way to get to that outcome, that you feel good about this whole experience and are ready to kind of take on parenthood, is you have a positive birth experience. And for women who want that type of care, doing that out of the hospital is like the answer for me, I guess. I've seen enough things to just know that that's kind of the best way to get that. Okay, I think that kind of answered that. I can't hear you, Katie.
You're muted.
Thank you.
I knew I was going to do that. I had to say something to my son, and I didn't want to interrupt you. But and then I'm like, I'll have to hit that mute. But why? So why are you the right person to build this type of business?
Yeah, so I think I have a really unique perspective, because I've been in the medical system. I've been a nurse in labor and delivery for a long time. That's where I kind of started, and so I have a really unique view because I know that side of it. And I want to be like the first to say, I am not trying to vilify the medical model of care for maternity. Like the providers and the nurses that work in that field are great people, and a majority of them really want what's best for women. It's just that they kind of have a lot of times a very one-sided view of what that might look like. And so as I kind of became aware of that, I had a few really early experiences that were kind of key for me. I think I had a really awesome labor and delivery rotation all the way back in nursing school. I had a certified nurse midwife that like led that clinical for us, and she exposed us to so many like concepts that we didn't learn in the textbook, I'll say. Just the use of active movement and labor and doulas and all that stuff, and it like really kind of, I think, planted a seed in my head that I was like, okay, there's like this other way to do it. And then when I got into practice as a nurse, that wasn't the way it was usually practiced. But it's like I always knew that was out there, and I saw how awesome it could be. And so eventually I pursued that for myself. So I also have a lot of personal experience in what that looks like, trying to have the goal of having, maybe a low intervention, more natural labor and delivery experience in the hospital, and kind of what kind of I know what families are kind of I don't want to say being told, but yeah, more or less, I know what it looks like when you enter the medical system and you go through your pregnancy care and get ready for birth. I kind of know what the medical model is going to tell women, and I also know what maybe the other side of that is in more of like a natural, kind of viewing birth as a natural event and what that looks like. So I kind of know both sides of it. And I've really been able, I think, to bring them together in a way that like, hey, we can kind of have a balance here. This is, if you're looking for a more natural labor and a more natural delivery, this is kind of how you can get it. And this is why birthing outside the hospital is probably a good choice for you. And when you choose that, you still have really high quality care options. And let me explain that for you. So I kind of understand both sides of it. I think I can help people that aren't already, there are some people that are like, yeah, of course I'm going to do a home birth. I don't want anyone at my birth. It's, and I'm not probably really speaking to those people. I want to help the people that have that kind of, I want this, but I also want this. And how does that look? I think I'm at a really unique place to be able to kind of bring those together.
Yeah, I agree. And so what is the vision then of this business, and what does it look like, let's say 3 years, let's say your trajectory is up, 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 and just you have a big vision and it can be realized in 3 years. What would it be?
Yeah. So that's the one piece that I think in going through this process, I've been like, oh, wow, I've got a lot of work to do, because a lot of the other participants have had their businesses more established. And then when I chose this other topic that I don't have an audience, I don't have anything. So I'm kind of starting right here. And what I envision is having kind of a platform where I'm thinking of kind of growing an audience with probably a podcast is what I have. So pulling in both interviewing, like families, kind of having that perspective of, home birth, birth center birth, all kinds of kind of perspectives, how they got to that point, interviewing other people in the birth workspace. So I'm thinking of a podcast, and then that will kind of feed into this course. And to me, this course is it's a pretty entry level type course. I want families to, it's like, I have this idea, I'm thinking about a home birth, like I really need somebody to like guide me through these options. I can go and take this course, I can move through it as fast as I want to. And then on the back end of that is the community. So I plan to also, run some sort of a group, some sort of a community where people can connect with other people and keep connecting with me. And really what I would love to see happen. So I'm focused on the families, because that's where I think I can have the greatest impact. That's who I think needs the support. But I would love, basically my whole goal in this is that I really see out of hospital birth as being the best option for low risk women, a majority of women that give birth. And so how can we get it in our culture, in our country, to be like an accepted option? Because it really should be. And so that's not something that I can, do on my own. But if I can get it to be more of a, if other people can see like, oh, hey, here's this nurse and she has a lot of really good information and she kind of sees it from all sides. And like, maybe that's something to pay attention to. And I can kind of shift the mindset in, both other nurses and the medical community, but also parents to be like, maybe I'll choose this, maybe I won't. But regardless, I can see how it is a good option for people who want it. So.
Awesome. All right, let's open it up to the judges.
Hey there.
Yeah,
I'll go. So Jenna, I might have missed this, but talk a little bit about the structure of the program. I don't know how much. Yeah, I don't know how long is it? What are the types of interactions that you plan on having? How would you manage? Let's say, you got people were really excited about it. The demand was pretty, you had a lot of people who want to sign up. How are you going to manage multiple people's, like a group coaching approach? Is it coaching?
Yeah,
like, what
I
is
had
it?
What does it look like? As kind of a on-demand, kind of evergreen, always ready, a course that I think I have it out into like 7 or 8 modules, and kind of that micro learning idea where we have, we kind of get to the point. These are the things you need to know. And there are some elements to it that are kind of like interactive, like these are your options, maybe for finding a care provider. Now you need to go do your homework, find out who's in your area, find out what your options are. These are resources for how you can do that. And so I kind of envision it because I can remember being in that situation myself. And once I decided, like, I think this is something I want to do, it was like all consuming, like what information can I find? And so I envision making it available to families that like, okay, I want to do this. I'm going to take this course. I can move through it relatively quickly and kind of get all the information I need. And then how do we put that together is where I'm envisioning having a community, some sort of a group, probably a Facebook group or something, where they can then come to the group and I'll be in there, of course, interacting, and then other families who have been through it and maybe now actually have done some of that work and can lead them too. And then I did kind of think of kind of depending on what that all looks like, the possibility of doing maybe monthly or even bi-monthly, like group coaching calls, like kind of like office hours. So like I'll be here, you can come in and ask me questions, because I can see how that would probably really help people to get that one-on-one feedback. So I think that would be a really good way, because it'll be kind of, people will be at all different points. It won't be like a group cohort, but then they can come in and kind of do that. So that would probably be something I'd look at doing too.
Very good. Thank you. Good.
Okay. All right. So I'm happy that you said one-on-one coaching. I was just going to say that I thought that would be a great idea. And do you think that you would actually incorporate, and you may have said this, I missed it, some of what you already do with these clients, this new program? Like you said your lactation business, right? You do some of that postpartum and lactation thing. So do you think you would like incorporate some of that learning and coaching and teaching with this type of education and mentoring to people as well? I think that would go great together.
Yeah, I think so too. Yes, I can definitely see how that would work. And that's kind of, I'm like, okay, so that's part of the reason I think I'm like willing to, I should start this whole thing, is because it all does kind of meld together. So yes, I establish, trust with that. And that'd be a great idea for like a bonus on the course, is also, intro to breastfeeding or something like that, or how to find, resources, that type of stuff. So I could definitely see that. And then, I think the kind of the wrap up of my course too is like, what are your next steps? So how do you find the right type of like childbirth education? How do you find the right type of, breastfeeding education? How do you find a doula, that type of stuff, which is also kind of part of my in-person business. And so, I think I can have a really unique perspective, even if I'm not going to be the one to do that. I'm not in their area. I'm so happy to support my fellow colleagues in that like, yes, that I think could be very much part of my mission, is to like now set you up for where do you go from here.
Absolutely. And how long of a course is it?
I have it structured out into about 7 modules. And so like I envision, I want to try and keep it like, pretty, short, easy to take in. You maybe watch one module a night for a week type thing. If that's how fast you want to move through it, you wouldn't have to. It'd be very self-paced.
Self-paced. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
All right, so we are right at 7:56, just like we said would be. Well, we had to give Jenna 1 minute because we were having some dumb conversation for a minute. It was no fault of her own. Oh man, I didn't save it. Shoot, let me hide that again. I'm gonna look at the votes and see what's there. Let's say 7:59. For the winners. Now show. Okay. And so Jill, Gigi, and Kimball, just send me your votes, and I'm going to look and see what the audience had to say, and then we'll be right back. And Jill, maybe you can entertain everybody again. Yeah.
One, I think we should just give a huge kudos to the ladies who came on really, we said it's not a hot seat, but it does still feel like a hot seat when you're live. Just so you know, they did not know necessarily the questions that they were specifically going to get asked tonight. So I think you all did a great job answering those and giving us a little bit better feel of why you are the right person to do this. And that's really what it's about with your audience, is that connection. Is, do they know, like, and trust you? Do they, connect with you? And a lot of times we do that through your story. And then also it's about, do they really believe that you are the person who can help them solve their problem, especially when there is, a lot of competition out there. If there's other options that they can choose, they will gravitate to you based on, this kind of pitch and your messaging and how you, come across and whether or not you're willing to be personal with them. So I think you guys did a really great job, kind of letting your guard down and letting everybody, see who you are and why, why you decided to pick this course and why you're motivated to really help the audience that you're targeting. The audience is already guessing. I love it. No pressure. Do. Do you have anything that you want to add in the last minute here?
Well, I'm so grateful for this opportunity. It's been such an amazing experience working with everyone and getting to know everyone. I'm so happy to be here, honestly, and good luck to everyone.
Same here. I think that for me personally, oh, sorry, go ahead, Kate.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, when I came in, I thought I was going to create a course, but it has grown me individually so much and just allowed me to really see a bigger vision and create this into a business. So I thank you, Jill and Katie, for putting these seeds in us and just stretching us. So yeah, thank you. And good luck to everyone. I'm excited to be here in this company. So thank you.
Yeah, I couldn't say it any better than you guys.
So the judges have spoken, and we've taken audience participation in as well. So without further ado, here's my comment section.
Drum roll.
We have in
You're doing
third place. Yeah, we're doing third. We have Jenna. Congratulations. Yay, Jenna.
Thank you.
And then in second place, we have Rosa.
Rosa. Yay.
Congrats,
Which
Rosa.
means our grand prize
Which means
goes
our grand
to
prize is Ananya. Congratulations, all three of you guys. You did a great job. Again, taking from just a few weeks ago, from idea, literally seedling, to all the way through to this Pitch Fest. Just an incredible job. So proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
All right.
Congrats, ladies. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, congrats.
All right, guys. Thank
Ladies, we
you.
want to thank the audience, or thank you for everyone who showed up,
Oh, yeah.
who joined our first Pitch Fest live stream. It was a great experience. I think we've heard back from all of our candidates. They were like, this was just such a really great learning experience and opportunity to get out there. So we appreciate all the audience that we love having that audience participation and getting your feedback. Those comments are helpful as well. So that our candidates can really get a pulse on how their pitches, kind of landing out in the market. So glad that all of you tuned in and stayed with us all week to watch the culmination.
And I'm just going to put the last comment in here is that this will not be the last NursePreneur Pitchfest. This is the first of what's going to be many. And if you're interested in having Jill mentor you through this process, what these candidates just went through, you can check out how to join at nursepreneurs.com, which is our new website going up. So you're nursing, and I did just put that in the comments somewhere, and it doesn't seem to be popping up. So I gotta find it. Anyway, I will post that for anybody that's interested, and we'll send out information about that as well. But again, congratulations to all the contestants. You are all winners. Actually, everybody in the whole Pitch Fest are winners of this.
Yes.
So congratulations. It's awesome. But all right, thank you,
Great.
everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks
so
to the
much.
judges, Kimball and
Thank
Gigi as
you.
well.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.